Yo, what is up? This is Gary A. Swaby at the Koalition.com. And, I just wanted to do a few quick recaps on some of the things I was really excited for at E3 and, just things that I have a strong opinion about. Now, we all know I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. And, Final Fantasy VII is definitely, my favorite Final Fantasy. It wasn't always, but I went back and I played it and I was like, you know what, this actually is the best to me personally. So the remake, I had my concerns about it. Obviously we had the State of the Play trailer last month and I was still a bit concerned. I feel like they didn't show enough. So now, we know a lot more about it after the Square Enix E3 press conference. So let's dive into some of the details and I'm going to give some of my thoughts on it. So firstly, we now know that the entire first part of the Final Fantasy remake is going to cover Midgar only, and it's going to be 2 Blu-ray discs. Now, this is both good and bad. Good because at least we get to see a lot of these other side stories expanded on, and that's probably a good thing, because the lore of that Final Fantasy VII universe is pretty huge. So there is a lot they could expand on, but it's bad because we don't know when we're going to get the complete story. And even Kitase has said in the interview that he doesn't know when the full story will be told and how long it's going to take for, all parts of this game to come out. So I am really concerned about that because there's so much more to this game than just Midgar. Midgar is obviously like 5 to 10% of the original game. So yeah, it's a bit concerning. Like, are we going to be waiting like 10 years to see this complete story or what? Because we already had to wait a long time just to get this, the first part, So that's one of the biggest concerns. As for the battle system, I'm really impressed with the battle system. You can swap characters in combat. It's all real time. It's on an ATB system, and you can use materia. The materia actually looks visible, which is cool, and of course that kind of dictates what magic and abilities you can use. As for limit breaks, it seems like limit breaks are just abilities now, and I guess that's fine because you kind of get more variety in your battles. I'm guessing that the abilities that were, limit breaks in the original game, I'm guessing in this they will take up a lot of your ATB and your move points or whatever. So, it probably will cost a lot to use these abilities, but you're going to be able to use them more frequently than you do in the original game, it seems. I like that you can switch to your companions in combat as well, because if you saw the battle that they had in the demo, it seemed like there's going to be strengths and weaknesses, and some of your companions are going to be better at disabling certain enemies than Cloud is. So it's going to be useful to be able to switch between your companions and use them for specific things and use them to defeat specific bosses. And what I liked about the bosses is that there was like different stages of fighting him. Like, you have to kind of, there's one part where you have to shoot down his legs or shoot down his core or whatever. So yeah, it seems like they're not just static battles where you're just, hacking and slashing and beating down the enemies. It seems like they're going to mix things up and have it to where you have to attack the enemies at different points in certain parts of the battle. So I like that. It adds a lot of dynamic aspects to the battle, so that's pretty cool. Now let me get into some of my opinions on the game. Visually, this looks stunning. Obviously the original it came out in 1997. It was on technology that we've moved on from that a lot. Like, it was a completely different era. So of course this looks beautiful in comparison. I love all the different particle effects and everything. Like, it looks stunning, to be honest with you. I have some concerns about the voice acting because Barrett sounded a little coonish. He sounds like like an 80s black action hero or something, like a Mr. T or something like that. And you know, I just put that down to the Japanese not really understanding black people that much. You know, it's not really their fault. They're not trying to be like that. It's just the way the country is. You know, black people are scarce, and they only see us on like TV and movies and stuff and what's portrayed to them. So they don't really understand how we really are. But not just Barrett though. Like, I felt like some of the other character voices sounded a little flat. Maybe they could have got some more high profile voice talent on the game. But, you know, we'll see what it's like when the full thing comes out. You know, maybe it won't be that bad. Also, I feel like Tifa, we finally got to see Tifa. I feel like she's completely fine. I know there was a lot of concerns that they were going to tone her down or just completely change the way she looks or put her in completely different attire. I feel like she looks fine, you know. She looks like a 2019 version of Tifa, you know, in my opinion. So I'm completely happy with how she looks and how everyone else in the game looks. What else was it? Oh, me and Garrett, my friend Garrett Glass, who was actually, you know, part of the Koalition before, we had a conversation about Aerith, and we feel like she looks a bit weak and vulnerable in this trailer. You know, she's holding on to Cloud, all scared and everything. And I don't think that actually reflects what Aerith was originally like. You know, she is kind of a strong female. I know people probably look at Tifa as that strong, you know, heroine in the game, but Aerith is also pretty strong, you know, like she's not weak and frail. She's not your generic vulnerable healer, you know. She can hold her own if she has to. So I'm concerned that they're going to make her, you know, they're going to turn her into this generic vulnerable healer type that you all fall in love with. I don't think that would correctly represent her character, but we'll see what they do. You know, we only saw a small clip, so maybe that's not the case, but you know, we just have to wait and see at this point. The game comes out in 2020. There are 3 different versions you can buy. There's the Ultimate Collectors with the figure of Cloud on a bike, which I'm thinking of getting. There's also the same version of that, but without the figure. And there's the normal edition, you know? So if you're really, really into your Final Fantasy, you have a lot of options there. I'm definitely thinking about getting the Ultimate one. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you have any thoughts or opinions, definitely leave it in the comments, and I will continue to, you know, discuss it with you guys. And look out for more recaps on this channel, thekoalition.com. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below. And thanks for listening, people.